Let's talk to John in Canada. You're on the air. He was detained at G20. Lots of people calling in detained. Go in the land of the free and home of the brave up north. I tell you, I've told you for years, Canada's one of the worst police states I've ever seen. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Alex, this is the Canadian John Galt. First-time caller, long-time listener, Prison Planet subscriber.
Welcome.
I was one of the people who was detained for no reason, forced to stand in the rain for hours. People were getting drenched. People were freezing cold, having their equipment destroyed.
Yeah, well, you don't protest the bankers that are robbing you. The cops are going to show you, little man.
Well, you know, we had some signs, and we were talking to police all along, and they loved our signs. They know all about it. It was amazing.
But they still, so the regular cops are good, but the special little political units, because the word I've gotten from countless people that have been detained was they enjoyed it.
Well, you know, they didn't seem to know what the heck was going on, to tell you the truth. They were just following their orders, right? But the thing is that about half of them, they were telling me about 9/11 and the New World Order. The only thing they didn't seem to know about was the agent provocateurs. They didn't even believe it.
Well, you know, I talk about cops a lot, and, you know, the media shows us the bad examples of what police do. But most cops I talk to are actually salt of the earth. And it's a media psyop that we all fall into when they constantly show the few cops that are really doing bad things. That's to make the public not like the cops, and the cops feel like we don't like them, and so it's to divide us. It's just like that restaurant yesterday where the cops came in and everybody got quiet for 10 minutes, and I couldn't handle it anymore. I went over and talked to them. We've got to talk to fellow citizens. We've got to talk to police. And that's good news. But I talked to the Love Police, fellow that got arrested, Charlie Veach, and he said they did enjoy, arresting him for no reason and humiliating him. But that's good news that a lot of police, even though they followed the illegal orders, did not like what they were doing. The Financial Times of London is reporting that cybersecurity measures will mandate government ID tokens to use the internet. You will now have an ID, NSA-controlled, run by the 4 branches of the military that divided up, to be able to get on the internet. The FCC is separately proposing a black box or software on your computer that reports everything you're doing and blocks content, but also tracks what you're doing. I mean, this is America they're talking about, the government controlling every facet of your internet surfing. Financial Times of London, Paul Watson has a key article. Cybersecurity measure will mandate government ID tokens to use the internet, from that FT article, but he expands it and gives you the background. That article is so important that get out to everyone now. And we're really breaking through on this. Our analysis of the bill was the top story Sunday morning, the entire big link on Drudge. We've never had that before. The top huge headline was president to be able to take emergency control of the internet for 4 months before it's even reviewed. All right, enough of that. I said I'm going to get to the calls, and so we're going to keep going to those, then I'll get to the news coming up. But, I mean, we're covering the news, taking your calls. Is Zach still there? Or John? John, real fast, finish up your story. So you were standing in the rain. Finish up.
Yeah, well, they had us standing there, and they wouldn't tell us why we were there, why we were being held. Everybody's electronics are being destroyed. But, there's some other good that came out of my weekend down there. I can't tell you how many people ran up to me and wanted to find out more information, other fellow info warriors. Everywhere I went, people are waking up. It's like we're reaching the tipping point here.
Well, how dare you, try to go out and talk to fellow Canadians on the street? I mean, that'll get you disappeared in the new world order. I tell you, folks, can you believe there's actually people that try to go out and stand up against the banks that are swindling us? We need to do like they've done in Greece and just hand the entire infrastructure over to them. But you'll learn your lesson. You'll learn your lesson, John, to submit to the bankers and to Elena Kagan and everybody else. Let's go ahead and talk to Eric in Texas. Eric, you're on the air.
Yeah, Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm Austinite by by birth, and I've been watching you since you were on Access Cable TV, by the way. It's the
Well,
first
do you
time
have
I've
an
called in.
authorization to call in on the radio? Because if they can ban us out protesting, then they could ban us on the internet and our free speech, and next they'll ban calling into talk radio. Do you need to be arrested, sir, calling into a talk show for your First Amendment?
I hope not. It's my
Well,
first
no, the
time to call you,
FCC is proposing shutting this show off. I mean, they're openly saying shut down talk radio. So, I mean, really, I'm not even being sarcastic now. In the near future, Eric, maybe it is wrong you're calling into a show. Maybe Elena Kagan's right. Maybe all these people are right.
So anyway, did you hear me say I've been watching you since you were on Access TV in Austin, late 90s, something like that?
Welcome, sir.
Anyway, I want to call to tell you about what appears to be potentially a FEMA location that's being built in our area.
Talking about the old mall?
No. Actually, on 183 and 29, there's an area called Stewart's Junction. About 10 miles north of that, on 183, there's a shooting range on the right called Stan's. Right next to it, from what I understand, my brother and my friend's been out there. I've got 2 pictures of it, and from their eyewitness account, it looks like what we've seen from other FEMA locations that you've given us info on.
What's there?
There's portables. There's chain link gate around it. There's some heavy security doors on the portables. Like I said, I've got 2 camera phone pictures. I haven't been out there myself, but there's a whole lot of portables, a big row.
Well, let me tell you publicly where the FEMA camps are. Out at the old Robert Mueller Airport, the police admit there's a continuity government hangar with bolts and chains and porta potties just waiting. They have these in any major city. The threat fusion centers are federalizing the cities right now. So that's going on. And you also, of course, have one of the old malls out off of I-35. Pardon me, guys? Yeah, Highland Mall. Jaron could tell I was searching for the name. Sometimes the most obvious stuff escapes me. Yeah, FEMA has taken over part of that mall and has their FEMA trucks out there for part of a continuity government. And so it's just all pretty much going on in plain view. Normally when FEMA rolls in, they do it at first just, at a level that at least sounds reasonable or palatable to sell you on accepting it. But, yeah, send us those camera phone photos. I'd be interested to see that. Can you send them to showtips@infowars.com?
One other thing that I noticed it was notable when I looked up info to give you, on trying to get the latest satellite feed picture of the area, I noticed on the Terra server, the most common one that's most updated, it looks like it's been blanked out, like you see some government sites where they...
Well, that's very suspicious. Stay there. We got guests coming up with reports from the G20 as well. But I wanted Eric to be able to finish up. That is suspicious. If you think an area looks like a FEMA facility and then on top of it, it's blacked out by satellite, finish up your point.
Yeah, if you look on the Terra server website, like I was saying, the image actually is a little old, but it looks very obvious that it was blanked out, like, Microsoft Paint kind of application. Same as you've seen on other government sites that they'll do that, sensitive areas. Besides that, I was just going to say that I'm passing on the info that you're putting out. I've got 2 of my sons that are passing on the word to their friends as well. They're young ones, but they're waking up as well.
Well, God bless you, and we've got a lot of great men and women out there, a lot of people better than I, who are taking action now, and I'm humbled and honored to know there's so many great people out there who are standing up against this New World Order. Let's go ahead and go back to your calls. Let's talk to Jim in Missouri. Jim, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex. Jim.
Hey, buddy.
St. Louis. I called you, a couple months ago about the HTH buckets, which you are aware of, and I am aware of since we have family members that are part of the wonderful water company. Here in St. Louis, they're known as American Water. They're not American whatsoever. So on that front, people just need to realize that if you dump a bunch of HTH in a pool, you're not supposed to go in a pool, so why are you going to drink it?
Well, I mean, for those that just joined us, I have some cousins in East Texas who I've sat around having dinner with, And they talk about how, yeah, sodium fluoride's bug poison. You can put less than a teaspoon on a fire ant bed. It kills them. We've got the best water coming out of an aquifer here, but the feds make us put this stuff in there. It's from China. It's full of other poisons. We have all these newscasts where they report the same thing, not just the fluoride, but all these other chemicals. And
was a chemical operator. He retired, but he doesn't even drink the water. So that should tell you something. If the chemical operators won't drink the water, there's a problem with it. But that's not why I'm calling you. The reason why I'm calling you is we need to think outside the box, and it's getting to that point where, everything's getting to be oppressed. As an example, free speech zones. Okay, you want to play free speech zones games, we can play that too. Start showing up to your protests, turn your back to the individuals you're protesting, don't say a word, you don't have to worry about a free speech zone.